Hello. I'm at another location in my house. I've been sick. I've been working a lot. I've been going through things of normal life. I've my work schedule's been adjusted, and I've been working on Facebook Creator of the Week. I still haven't set my goal. Well, I set my goal. I just have not got it yet. I guess you could say. But I have set my goal, so I have gotten there a little bit. But I figure now that I have a little free time and stuff, possibly I can do some tarot card readings because I'm trying to keep up with all my other stuff. I have a lot that goes on in my life, and it always goes on at one time. I decided to change up my style just a little bit, and I had some really good AI apps. And I don't know if you guys seen some of the other AI apps. Some of them are very different. They have girlfriends. You can have an AI girlfriend. I find this very, I guess, amusing because now you could have with AI, you could have a girlfriend. I said sit. You can have a girlfriend, sit. Or I haven't seen the AI boyfriend. Sit. But I do know AI gives you a boyfriend. Not getting it. So, and I found out from my friend from work that Elon Musk owns Truth Social or something, and Donald Trump owns has Twitter or something like that. So I am on Truth Central, which apparently Elon Musk owns. And my friend, she's pretty good. She's pretty cool, my nurse friend. She gave me some medical advice when I worked with her. And she was telling me about that, so I was kind of excited about it. So, but I don't know, I would start knitting or something, but I feel that I'm going to start getting people soon. Oh, I got people. Hello, I'm back. I've been very busy with work. What is it? Raul? Did I get that right? Oh, or Reverend? What is it? Or Ravi? Yeah, I got a chip in my tooth. I'm trying to get it fixed, and my dentist decides they're fixing everything before the chip. So, this is the way dentists are. I've had a chip on my tooth for like 6 months, and I've been going to a dentist. So, oh yeah, I know I need to. I do need to replace that. I don't know. Everybody around, my husband keeps saying he's going to, and then things happen and he doesn't. So that's what happens. Oh, hello. I'm hoping I look better once the dentist finishes the chip in my tooth. That would be really great. I did dye my hair cherry red. Figured I was gonna. I don't know. I wanted to find a cool color, but I got that. I figured it was close enough. I have batteries, but I can't reach it. I'm not that tall. I'm only like 5'5". So when you're only 5'5", you got little T-Rex arms. I got little arms, and then I can't reach them. So I'm trying to get somebody to reach up there and grab them for me, but I guess that'll happen hopefully soon. Do I like logical questions? I do. I'm a fan of logic. I really am. I guess you're logical if you're scientific. I'm a very scientific person. Get Yeah, I probably should get a step stool. I did have one of those and I let someone borrow it. I never got that back, so I do gotta eventually get one of those. So that you're not lying about that. Okay, I only know English. I don't know that. I did try taking Spanish once and I had problems. But I did do a lot of reels and I got to 1K views on some of my videos. Chong, stop. I got to 1K views on them, like 3 of them on Instagram. And I think I'm close to Creator of the Week. All right, Chong, I don't want to do this, okay? I don't. I'm not playing ball right now. We played ball earlier. Your dog walkers were here. Yeah, I hired dog walkers for Chong. I was real sick, and he said I hired some kids to be his dog walker. And apparently, they subscribed to Chong the dog, and they were excited about being his dog walker. And Chong looks for these guys every day. Every single day, he's looking for these dog walkers. So it's crazy. My dog's at the door. He loves these kids. Oh, I know it's not Spanish. I tried to take Spanish and I didn't do well on that subject either. I really did not. Me and Spanish, I like Spanish, but Spanish does not like me. No, I'm hot. I did try to take that, but yeah, I've been sick. I've been, I've been going through it. Oh, wow. I know I don't know much Spanish. That was a long time ago. So I wish I knew Spanish like that, but I don't. But I don't know if you guys got any of the videos. I know I've been getting some love on them over here, but I've been trying to get noticed over there on Instagram. Because I've been over there for a while with my dog reels, and I've been trying to up my game, I guess, with the dog reels because they have really good dog people over there. It's pretty amazing some of the reels they have. So, and I've been trying to just see what I can do. Now, some of them they're really good at different kinds, but I am a decent writer. I'm not saying I'm the greatest. I would never do that because this is too bright. I'm gonna take this one bright light off and put this other one on. Okay. Alright. This is better. I was getting too much of a glare over there. Oh, I've been good. Besides being sick and just getting over, I just was so sick. They gave me all this medication because my blood wasn't right, and I had an infection, and then they had me on antibiotics for like 3 weeks. And besides that, I've been okay. I've been drinking lots of water. My work changed my schedule for me so I could still come to work every day and be okay. And I ended up making where I'm there less days. I had to finish out my old schedule to my new schedule, but I could pick up one day and make twice as much an hour. So it kind of all worked out well for me in that way. So I'm pretty happy there. It gives me more time to live stream and do different things. Because I've been editing my ass off. I really have. Because I got this face swapping thing. Because I think it's pretty much your face on another body, but it's pretty much your face. But you can have your picture in different spots. And it's the AI technology. So I've been playing around with all my new editing stuff. Because I really like editing. I think editing is one of my favorite things in the world to do. I enjoy it. I like doing reels. I like doing things like this. I like doing the things that take people hours. So, and over there in Instagram land, that's how it is. Well, yeah, I have been busy. Nursing is a busy business. It's not a career you can walk away from. You can cut your hours down, but you cannot walk away from nursing. These days, there's a shortage of workers, and you can't be a healthcare worker if you have any kind of convictions. And I don't. I got a clean record, so even though I wanted to cut my hours and stuff, I've been with them for so long I was not able to. And this is the life of a healthcare worker. In the residence where I was just going to get me another job altogether, and it would have been fine, but they did not want me to leave. So I was stuck where I was. And it is what it is. What did you major in college? Writing. I did writing, and then I went to college for medical assisting, and I took STNA classes, and I took a lot of medical terminology. So I used to take like kids to their appointments for surgical appointments. I did that for like 5 years. So it mostly was medical and writing. So a lot of that. Facebook's really funny about, they always want to know who wrote what. So now that I'm established over there as a writer, they don't they don't clip and copyright my stuff or anything because they know I do all my own stuff. And with the AI, you can get a copyright on a picture. You really can. And then you don't get paid for your reel. So that Eli Musk technology, I downloaded some of that. So when I want a certain picture, it can come up. And I don't have to worry about getting it from a certain site and saying that somebody else owned that picture because I do my own words on it. And they're real funny about that on Facebook and Instagram. So I do most of all that from there. Oh, no, I would never be a teacher. I have patience for sick people, but I do not have patience for kids that don't want to be there or don't want to learn. And these days, kids don't listen in school at all. They're awful. They don't care. They figure they can do whatever they want. And the thing is, it's good to have a YouTube career, but you should have something to fall back on. And kids these days, I guess they don't think of these kind of things. And not everyone's going to be a superstar. It's life. And honestly, if you're lucky enough to be a superstar, that's great, but not everyone is. And kids, they go to school and they give up. They don't even go to job training or nothing, and I couldn't put up with that. I couldn't even be a teacher for nurses because some of these new nurses coming in are so cocky. I see these nursing students and they're awful, and sometimes I want to choke them. So I would not have the tolerance for any teaching. I don't mind helping people out, if they need help with their studies or something, but I am not doing that. But I don't mind working with trachs, pediatrics, or anything like that, like if they're sick, because I feel that it's God's work when you do these kind of things. I really do. Is that bro or boo? Oh, bro. I don't know if I'm a bro, but thank you. But I figure I haven't been over here streaming, so since I was a little better and the color of my skin was a little better and I didn't look half dead, I figure I'd come on today. But when you're sick, you find out who cares about you. You really do. And honestly, all this stupid stuff with what to having to get this antibiotics for 3 weeks has been delaying the dentist even more and more. I think my dentist is pissed because they want me to finish out one thing to get to another. And I haven't been able to do that because one thing happens and they're holding money and I'm trying to get there and it's a nightmare. But medical, I don't know. I seem to vibe with it better. But I do like social media. I'm starting because I really like doing these reels. I'm addicted to doing reels for some reason, and I love editing. I didn't think I would. When I first started Facebook, I didn't like it. And then I kind of learned my way around reels and the rules, and it got easier as time went on. And now I really like it. When I was sick and not feeling good, I just kept doing. I think I did like 30. I got so excited. I did all the dog ones. Because I figured we are Chong the dog, so I try to spice it up where we're not all about a dog. Because I feel people should be nicer to one another. I really feel that the problem in the world that started and ends is we don't come together. When I was younger, people came together more. Somebody was hungry or there was kids or, your neighbors were hungry. Your parents would go and they would help them and bring them food. But, I don't know enough about the world and everybody's situations, and I know they say that everything changes, but I feel it changed for the worse. I really do. I feel education got put last, and I feel education is pretty much. I feel any education, no matter what career you pick, is important. Communication and learning your words is the most important. Because you need it for being a rap star. You need it for doing reels. Because you got to know how to write stuff. You got to know how to spell. I mean, it's so important. And the one thing that was the most important got put aside. But, I mean, I hired these dog walkers and I didn't know that their mom had these, I guess they're called in Ohio, they're called SNAP benefits or something. They get like food for the summer and then they get like food, I don't know, some kind of food card. So these kids don't have these water bottles, and I've been just, I'm not allowed to eat sugar no more or drink coffee because they said it's not good for me. And I had to give up a lot of food that I like to eat. So I gave them like all the stuff that I liked that is not good for me. And and I give back if I have, when I was sick, a lot of people, I work with a lot of people that have a lot of money. So, and they give me expensive things when I got sick, and I didn't need a lot of water bottles, so I gave them a bunch of that, and I gave them all the stuff I can eat that was really good, like my coffee for their mom and Pop Tarts and stuff that I like to eat that I can never really eat again, and I got to eat sparingly. And I tell you, cut back on your sugar because I was a sugaraholic. And I don't know, I just went down and got sick, and then you got to give it all up. So just try it if you can to eat better because it will catch up with you eventually. Even if you're young, sometimes it catches up with you depending on what's going on. I'm just lucky enough in life to where when I get sick for some reason, I get all these medical people surrounding me, helping me before anything goes bad. This is what they do. This is how medical people are. You're sick, they say, oh, take this, take that. And I did not want to go to the hospital after the whole cleaning out my blood thing when I got real sick, and there was a bunch of other stuff going on. I didn't get poisoned, but I had issues, and then after that, I had other stuff going on. I didn't feel like going to the hospital again, so I just went and visited my friend that was a surgical nurse. But it's nice to know my friends will flock around me and help me. Am I political? Uh, yes and no. I, I mean, I live in the United States, so you gotta kind of know who is going to benefit your situation. But sometimes the political arena is a lot. And the thing is I could sway either way. But the thing now is with the economy the way it is, I feel we need a businessman. And I don't think we need somebody that's going to want to spend a lot of money in other places when food and everything else is too expensive and families are struggling. And I know there's people that either like Trump or hate Trump, but at the end of the day, he did balance the economy. And he is a businessman first before he's anything else. And that would be the only reason I would think he's the better choice. I would love to see a woman president. Love to see one. But I don't know if this is the time or the place with the country the way it is. So I wish there was a better choice and there was two business people or a business lady and somebody that was instead of talking about everything else that costs a lot of money, talk about how they're going to lower food, how they're going to help the people get jobs. This is the main focus. Before they could fix anything else, you got to fix the main situation. I look at it as like in medical terms, if you got a wound that's infested and needs attention, your first priority is cleaning the wound and healing it, and then doing other stuff. Our first priority, our big wound in our country, is fixing the economy. That has to be done first before any money can go anywhere else. And I know they say we're one of the richest countries of the world. That goes beyond saying, but we need to balance our budget. We overspent. If you overspend your budget in your household, you gotta cut back. So there gotta be cutbacks. And Trump knows how to do it. And the thing is, there's a whole lot of, in Congress, there's a whole lot of Republicans. So there's nothing that's going to go through if they put a Democrat in. Everybody's going to be bumping heads, and it's going to be twice as much for anything still. And it's not going to help. So, and I get people have their reservations. They think that, that he's a horrible person, and anybody could be a horrible person. They really can. At times I could be a horrible person. I guess it's life. Anybody could be a horrible person, and there's a lot, and honestly, it depends on, anybody could be racist as long as they don't act on it and they do their job. Right now, we got a festering wound with our economy, and it needs a whole lot of hydrogen peroxide and wound treatments. So that's the only reason I pretty much say that. But I loved Bill Clinton. I liked Ronald Reagan. I did not like the Bushes. I didn't like Bush Sr. or Bush Jr. And that was because I just feel that there was at a time they could have made things better, but they kind of got greedy, which I don't think that greed leads to anything good. I feel that if you're greedy, it's not a good thing. You should want to share your things. That's why in kindergarten we're taught to share. And it only makes sense. And I feel a lot of politicians are very greedy. Even the ladies. The ladies can be very greedy, and then I like to call it, they get a super ego. You get these Supreme Court justices, and they figure, oh, it's a woman, she's going to be good and this and that. And sometimes they get to be power junkies. Because we can't control the world. We can't control people's opinions. The only thing you could control is supply and demand. You're not going to change no one that don't want to be changed. The only thing you could do is that person want to be changed, saying you can't do this because of this. And that's as far as you're going to get. And honestly, that's kind of like, that's just life. I don't want what is this? Oh, you're fine. I'm a medical person. There is nothing at all that bothers me. I have seen the worst of the worst. Medical people literally have seen the worst of the worst. When people are sick, we get their families. And sometimes their families aren't nice. Sometimes the patients are usually okay. Almost 99% of the time, the patients are fine. It's the families. I get everything. There's nothing anybody could do to me on social media that could shake me at all. Dealing with medical. I dealt with medical through COVID. I was one of those people when it first came out on wearing the suits and taking care of everybody with COVID. My brother called me Bubble Girl because I had COVID and I was asymptomatic, I didn't have any. And my boss called me, it's a funny story, and she told me, because I had COVID and I was feeling really good and I was making tons of money. And I was getting paid to stay home to make even more money. So I got drunk and I said, you know what? I'm going to buy Corona. So I had Corona. I was drunk on Corona. And I think we smoked a little weed too at that time. And she called me, asked me when I come to work. I said, well, I drank. And I told her I was drinking Corona. And she goes to me, aren't you supposed to be sick? You got COVID. I was like, I feel fine. She let me come in and work in the bubbles because I was like 5 days of having it and it was like a quarantine period. And she goes, you know what? You could be quarantined with everybody else since you're asymptomatic. I'm like, fine. So I ended up making, it was like $35 an hour for like 2 years. Just in those COVID bubbles. But when you've worked through COVID and worked through I worked through where I had to work at a kid's home and I seen abused kids and we tried to place them and stuff when they were real sick. In this kind of environment, you see so much, there's nothing that bothers you. Nothing. And it's crazy, but it doesn't. And the crazy thing is, most people get excited to see someone naked. I get excited to see people with clothes on. Because people always be shy about going to the gynecologist or the doctor or whatever. And sometimes we get some patients and they're younger and they're kind of weird. They don't want to take off their clothes, and we're just like, you know what? We're like doctors. No one's looking. But that's how it ends. You go to a gynecologist, even though you have everything looking, that doctor does not care. He probably is to the point where he barely wants to look at his wife's. So that's how we are. That's how we roll as medical people. And I guess probably why that doesn't bother me being a live streamer, and I don't mind trollers because I work around hostile people. I work around nice people. It is what it is. And after COVID, medical got real bad. Very demanding. Everybody comes in and wants to know why their family member died or something, and they're like 102. Sometimes they think that we're like Jesus and we're just going to come in and save everybody. I mean, we're not God. We can tell you we administered things, we done stuff, but in the end, we can't tell you if they're going to live or die. That's why I try to do good things every day. I try to help people as much as I can. I really do, because your karma could come back to you at any time. And when this karma comes back, it's very specific at times. It takes away things that you like, or puts you in the position of the person that you were making fun of or something. So, and I get sick a lot at times because I got anemia, I got low blood, and I have weird things that take me down, but then I get completely over it, and then somehow I'm better than I was before. But like I told my dog walkers that I hired, my 14-year-old, 10-year-old, because they think I guess they subscribe to me over here. They think I'm great and famous, and I tell them I'm not. I said I'm just one person in the world and no one's better than anybody, and I'm nowhere near famous, but they support me. But I try to help them. I do what my mother told me to do. was given all kinds of expensive water bottles when I was getting better, and you can only use so many. So I gave them those because they're starting school, and they like to drink water and stuff. But I feel if I do these little acts of kindness all the time, I have good luck when things bad happen to me. I mean, I just ended up with a crazy little fluke thing where they had to give me antibiotics for 3 weeks. And they took care of it, and it was simple. But if it would have got prolonged, I would have been way sicker. So maybe it's because I do good things that when bad things happen, it doesn't end up happening like it could have happened. I feel like I get the better result. And if you ask my sons, they tell me it's because I have rich friends. But it's really not. Anybody can get sick and die, rich or poor. So I say as long as you're good with the power above, and you're in your heart not greedy and trying to help people all the time, usually good things come to you when you need it. So I feel that, and I feel the state of the country right now is in need of repair. And I am a fan of England, I'm not going to lie. I love England. I love Harry Potter. I'm a sci-fi fan. The one reason I wanted to be a writer, which made me want to study writing, was for the sci-fi movies. I love sci-fi. I love Lord of the Rings. I love J.R. Tolkien. I love it all. I became entranced with all that as a child. I was 10 years old reading The Hobbit. I mean, to me, these things are exciting. To other people, maybe not so much. And then with the Game of Thrones, that goes what I was saying. When that first came out, I read all the books because I wanted to know how to formulate a good fantasy book, because this is what I like to do. I try to do on my reels the animal personification. I like doing animal personification. I think it's fun, and you can make them humorous, inspirational. You can do anything with them. But my main goal, really, I've been looking at all these different people doing stuff with animals. There's this guy in Russia. I put it on my Facebook group. He buys all this land and he goes to all the dog shelters and he gets all the dogs and he brings them in one place. He has over 100 dogs and he's buying more land, and he actually built like a medical center for his dogs. And he must be wealthy over there in Russia because he bought more land, and he goes to all these dog shelters and he puts them on their land. And I said, that's a hell of an idea. So I'm thinking about doing something like that. I mean, Mr. Beast has the Beast Burgers, and everyone loves Mr. Beast. And I love Mr. Beast too. I mean, you got to live in a cave not to love Mr. Beast. But I think maybe I could just be the person that just buys this land and rescues these dogs, and if they never get adopted out, they just stay there. Kind of like a foster home, you never leave. Because I feel that at least their last days, because I feel if you die in a bad way, it gives you a sad death. So I feel that if I can help these animals not die in such a horrible way and give them a safe refuge, And I wanted to do it with the thumbnail and then have like videos rolling like the zoo does. The zoo has them where you can, any local zoo, they have them on, I think they have them on YouTube. I know they have them on Instagram and different ones, but I think they have them over here. They got zoos where, like, if you wanted to see the eagle, they literally have live stream cameras on all their animals. But that's what I want to. I think that's what my main goal over here is going to be. I want to get a bunch of land and just start rescuing animals and have enclosures, kind of like the zoo. But I don't want them to feel caged. I want them to feel like they can run around. So maybe like because some dogs don't get along with other dogs, and like have it set up like that, and then have people that maybe I pay, or in like I have volunteers and all that I pay with some of the YouTube money and Facebook and Instagram money that I get, and then have a little medical center like the guy did in Russia. And I think, if I modernize that idea and then put live stream cameras and just have my thumbnail Chong the dog. And I think it would be really fun. I told the dog walker kids this and they said they wanted to help me. But really that's why I'm over here. Because I feel that I can help the world out in this way. And I know it sounds insane, but I feel I could. I know my husband watches over here this guy that feeds homeless people all the time, and he's great. He was a correctional officer, and he must have a lot of money. I don't. He gets a lot of donations, and he drives around his car, and he gives homeless people food. I feel that between Mr. Beast and YouTubers like that, all that's kind of covered. But I feel if I was the first YouTuber that kind of rescued enough kind of different animals, maybe I can have like almost like a mini zoo and just have like dog places, like a dog adoption. But my adoption place, I would have background checks and everything else because I would not trust some of these people. When I'm over here, I see these stories of people that left with a dog and they meant to hurt them, but they wanted to adopt a dog just to do some bad, shady stuff. I would have a chip in my dogs and I would do complete background check and I would have the police come and check these guys out on top of it because I'm not going to send my animals to somebody that the animals I try to save to go to another abuser. I would not do it because Chong is a rescue. I got him really, really young. He don't remember the abuse he had when he was younger. Thank God. What does this say? Live chat E. I don't understand what that is, but this is my main goal over here. And if you subscribe to me, that really is where the money is going to go. And Mr. Beast, most of his money goes for giving people money for rent and giving away computers and stuff. And I figure maybe one day I can get this and I figure out all the different live streaming I do. Like Facebook has it because I make some money over there. I can live stream I'm on all platforms, even Truth Central. So I don't know about that Truth Social, but I don't have any followers. But I just went over there, so Yeah, I can't see without my glasses. These little tiny things here. I really can't. Come. What the heck? You a troller. That would be fun if you were. I do enjoy to come over here to test the waters. I call over here the ocean. I really do. Sometimes I feel YouTube is. I like YouTube a lot. Who doesn't? But I feel it's the ocean. Oh, you hear that? The ocean. I do. I feel it's the ocean. I mean, I like YouTube, and I'm not. I mean, if I get popular, I do want to practice my live streaming. I feel I need to improve on that because I'm not. I don't ever say I know everything because I don't, and I never will. Nobody would never know anything, like everything. So, but I am over here to improve on my live streaming, but I feel sometimes on Facebook, I have such a popularity. It goes south quick. But over here's like the ocean. You can get really good conversation at certain times, and then certain times you don't. Then you just keep trying and trying, and then before you know it, you have one or two subscription. You're like, oh, how did that happen? I want to say with once you get your check mark with Facebook, Instagram is a given. And usually they give you these things when you have like over 6,000 followers. So, but I do want to try because I do this for the animals. I'm not doing it to be a superstar because I really do want to have Chong the dog animal shelter. Or maybe I might change the name at some point, or Chong the Dog Rescue Center. I do want to have that, and I want to have it where people could visit my rescue center. And I want it for everyone, and just I feel that a rescue center, it would be good for a lot of different people. I mean, if I ever got as big as the other YouTubers, I might have them in different cities, and stuff like that. But I feel that would be fun, but it may never happen. But if the higher powers up there or karma wants me to do this, that's what I'll do, or it'll come a different way. But these are my ideas, and I feel, I do feel more comfortable over here live streaming because I feel it's nice. It's nicer because you have the third party, which is really nice. Because it was during the Russian conflict. What did that say? But I'll tell you that story. But I was on. I've been on Facebook for active there for a while, but it was like it was the when we were at war with I forgot which one it was, but I embrace all people of all different countries and races, and I had Russian friends over there, and I got all these pictures. They sent me pictures when there was a bombing and a bunch of kids died, and I got it sent to my Facebook. And wow, did I get in trouble. They thought I was involved with the bombing over there. I think I don't know. It might have been not. in Russia. I think it was more towards the Middle East. But honestly, I posted it because I don't know. I guess I shouldn't have, but these things happen. And then my friend from work told me that's because I'm popular over there. So, but yeah, I've been through some stuff with that. But I realized not if it's high military sensitivity that I literally have to report it right away because they froze my page, my whole profile, and everything for like 2 days. And then they cleared me of charges because obviously I never left the United States. So, the FBI and CIA do their thing. It is what it is. So, but yeah, I got popular enough for that to happen, and I kind of wish I wasn't popular at that point because it was terrible. Even looking at the bombing with the kids that died was terrible, and then having my page frozen, it was like, wow. But sometimes you just get all kinds, and then if you do a really good stream over there, since they don't monitor it or they don't review it, the thing is they take hearsay. Like if somebody was to flirt with you, which happens a lot, it probably happens to every live streamer. So it is what it is. But I literally just was nice as I can be and said I wasn't interested. And the next thing I know, my stream got taken down because they said they were offended. Because they wanted to message me on the WhatsApp app and private this and private that. And I said I'm not doing all that because that's where your scammers and stuff are. So this is why I'm not over there no more doing that. Instagram was a little bit easier of a venue to do that. But I've been trying just to see how it is over here. Because I called this the library. Like a lot of times when I would do stuff for all my other networks, I know YouTube's never going anywhere. I really do. I mean, everything else could fall apart, but I believe YouTube will always be standing. So I started putting a lot of my videos that I wanted to keep over here. That's why I have so many over here. It became like my library. Because I didn't think that I was YouTube material like this. I mean, I know that I can do a decent inspirational, which they went 1K yesterday, and one day I got 1,000 views on my Instagram ones. I was so excited. So, okay. Google. I don't know about Google streaming. I would have to be really, really good for that. I'd have seen some of them Google streamers and they got their A game. They got computers. They got bank. I need a whole class on how to be a live streamer for Google. I really would. I mean, sometimes I feel like I need improvement over here because I have solitary work. I deal with my people one on one. I'm not used to the dealing with lots of people, but I don't know about Google. The Google would, I don't know. The Google might eat me up and chew me up, and that's it. Like a big shark. I would really have to try to maybe if I got somewhat popular over here and I had live streaming, my camera's going, and I was able to get the animals together, that might be the only way a Google stream would go good. I feel you need a plan for that. Because they have the one lady over there that they have the one guy that looks for pedophiles all the time. He does really good. And then there's the other one that looks for scammers. Like she'll call the scammers all the time. But she has a really good presence, and she has all these computers and everything, and she got a lot of stuff, like stuff that'll disguise her voice and stuff. I mean, that would be way in the future, and I would have to get way better over here for this to ever happen. I mean, honestly, I never thought I'd get a live stream button because I didn't have a lot of subscribers for a long time. I just kind of put the videos that I liked and cherished, I put over here. Just in case something happened on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. And TikTok, I don't know. They say that that government officials, I think it was January, they have to have TikTok off their phone. Then they say that somebody might buy TikTok, and see that I'm glad I got my videos over here because of this. I'm excited because if they close down TikTok, it's fine because my TikTok account has a lot of my Instagram stuff in it. So here, what? Oh, you're in China. Okay. I don't know. I never been there, but all the reels I see of China and, documentaries and stuff, I really like China. I like the Chinese culture. So I really enjoy that. I like how they take care of I like how in China it's embedded in your culture to take care of your mom and your grandma and all that. We had a Middle Eastern family at my facility, and usually they have us do everything. And we did a lot, cleaned them up and everything. But when this man was passing away, his son's wife came in and took care of him, sat with him, and we did not have to go in there. And I feel China's kind of like the same way. They have a lot of respect for their elders. And I do have a lady that I take care of on a unit, and her mother is Chinese, and they're from China, and she comes in and they're very nice, and she really takes care of her mom well. She sees her every single day, and I feel like those different cultures sometimes have good moralistic values. And in this day and age, it's hard sometimes when you come over from different countries and you have jobs. But I feel like certain cultures do respect their elders more. Hispanic also. They really check in on their people a lot, and I really appreciate it. I give you guys so much credit for doing that, because not everyone does. And being a medical person, I see a lot of people die. And whenever I see someone that's Chinese or Japanese die, their people are right there. All the time. And Middle Eastern. Their people are right there. they don't sit there and get nasty and say they're gonna call state or whatever. They don't do any of that. They literally sit with their people, and their last dying breath, their family members are right there. So I really care. It bothers me when people die in an unpeaceful manner, and I feel those cultures do very well. So I do give a shout out to all those cultures because I feel we should respect everyone because we all gotta die. We do. Life's a journey, and I'm going to die. I mean, I don't know why I've been sick 3, 4 times in my lifetime, but it is what it is. But eventually, the big one's going to hit me, and I feel I'll have a peaceful death. And I hope everyone that I care about's around me because I've seen people die. I see people die all the time, and they die more peacefully and happy when everyone they love is around them. I can tell you that. Sometimes when the residents have no one there, I'll sit with them till they die. Because that's your last, the way you die is just as important as the way you're born. And I feel that there should be somebody there when you're born. Obviously, there is because you're coming out of your mother, but there should be someone there when you die. I don't care if you're the worst person in the world, you should have somebody there when you die. Because to die alone, I believe that is the worst cruel punishment. So, I'm just saying this. And I see lots of families, lots of different cultured families, and I feel this is the best practice. And I can tell you firsthand about that because it's what I see. I I was thinking about maybe going to hospice, but I pretty much work in a hospice unit where I'm at, so I mean, I see the decline and eventually I'm there when they die. So, I'm like a hospice unit where I knew you before you died. So, if you got no one to sit with you, I usually do. And I feel that's the best service we can give to each other as human beings. And I feel the same with animals. I've been with my animals before they die. Oh, I'm doing well now. I'm doing way better. I just had to get a treatment and I'm okay now. It's just really stupid. I had an impaction due to the medication. And I know I have a lot of nurse friends, so I didn't, I took care of it on my own. And because of the impaction, I think that's how my blood got poisoned. They took care of that, and then I just got to put treatments. I have to do wet dry treatments for a little bit until it's done, but I'll be okay. I don't have cancer, so it'll go away. I don't complain because I see people that are way worse than me. I deal with people with cancer and people that suffer a lot more than me. So when I have my little sicknesses for that's not the for big reasons, I don't feel. I guess to me, I know that more people suffer more than me, so I just try to get better and I think of the others more than me. I've always thought of others more than me. So, alright, hang on. I'm trying to read this. Oh, you have? Okay. Yeah, we have a hospice that comes to my facility all the time. You guys are awesome. most of the time you guys are there, but sometimes you guys aren't. And generally, somebody from the facility usually sits with them, or if the families don't get there, but you guys are usually always there. Because whenever we had a call hospice before, most of the time you guys always come or send somebody. And it's great. You guys just come in with all the really good pain meds, and everybody dies so well. And they're so happy. And you guys get a hold of of everyone and make all kinds of good arrangements. And I have lots of love for hospice nurses because I'm a fan of people that are making it good for people to die peacefully. Because I fully believe that we come back. And it's just my personal belief. I mean, I guess it kind of goes with Hinduism. And I believe maybe in a past life, I was maybe a bit of a person that dealt with more death. Because in this lifetime, I seem to be putting in a climate where I'm involved in death. No matter what I do, I'm around it. So, and I'm a very big advocate of death and residents' rights and patient rights. Because I feel that it's your last exit. And before you see God or your creator, I feel that you should have support because that's what we're doing. We're seeing our creator. And I mean, I know my RN friend knows this, but the last thing, when you die, you might not be able to see anyone. You might be in your coma sleep, but you can hear everything. You can hear everything everyone is saying around you when you're dying. So if somebody is dying, you should never say anything negative. I do know this. I've heard it from a lot of nurses. Oh, yeah, I'm doing readings. I got my cards. That's why I put it on there. Some people actually come over here because, they want to talk and stuff because I don't do Instagram live streaming no more. I mean, I just don't. I don't know. That's a lot of work for me, especially working on top of work. But I got my cards out. You can put your question in, and I'll give you a pathway reading. But maybe that's why I feel so passionate about spirituality, also because I feel that I feel people should have a proper death. Because I feel when you see the other side, it's a magical moment. And it's not magical if you're being tortured, if you're an animal being tortured, or a human being tortured, or just alone. So, all right. Okay. Are there any current feelings from my spirit guides about family, friends, and life? I mean, I can see with the pathway reading what it brings up. We could do that. I'm glad you're not asking me exactly what somebody's feeling or thinking because I don't feel anybody knows these kind of answers. And if they do tell you about these answers, I feel that they're lying to you. Because I don't know anybody that can know these kind of things. Unless you got one of those spy cams in their house and you're listening to them. Other than that, I don't think you would know. That's just a for real note there. I know there's some out there, maybe they have special connections that I don't know about. And that's okay. I don't need every connection in the world. But what I'm picking up is you're in a waxing moon. And that means that your energy is gaining velocity. You're like at a low voltage and you're starting to get more energy, which is good. And the two things surrounding you is a waning moon. And this card just means you have things that you have to release. So I guess that would just be a card like if something's bothering you or somebody did something bad. It's not so much for, I guess it would be, I guess if you're a Catholic, it'd be, you would have to forgive someone, but you got to release some. I'm picking up, it's like, I'm picking up, it's not anything bad, it's just something someone did to you, like a self doubt type thing, or someone wasn't the nicest to you. And people aren't nice in this world, so that makes sense. And the other thing surrounding you is a new moon in Scorpio to work through your fears. I just feel it. I mean, the only thing they're picking up is you're on a path of enlightenment, but you got to give up all of the things that are holding you back. And it's not necessarily people, it's people with their opinions. That's what I'm picking up. And people that put you down and say bad opinions about you, that can sometimes, that can make you feel like shit sometimes, and it does that with anybody, honestly. So that's all I'm picking up. So, but you're on an enlightenment path. I do know that. And it's a good path to be on because that's the path I'm on. Because I've been having troubles with some of my kids because they're just acting like little a-holes, and everyone keeps telling me I gotta let it go. And it's hard to let it go when people really hurt you. And I'm on the same path, so I mean, it's taken me about a half a year to get through it, but there has been a lot of positive things that's been coming to me because I've been slowly letting it go. Oh, you're welcome. I mean, I hope I was helpful. I really do. I do try to be helpful. All right, hang on. Let's see what is going on here. Is there? Uh, I don't think you're Illuminati. Okay, that's just funny. I'm not even sure if those guys exist, the Illuminati. I think they're a nice mystery, but I'm not sure if they're real. I feel it's one of those historic mysteries that are a great story, but I don't believe the Illuminati exists. And if it did, it was a long time ago, and I feel that I don't feel it does anymore. But a lot of people do believe the Illuminati's here. And it could be, but it would be a far out idea because they haven't presented themselves. So I don't know. But I believe there was Illuminati, but not now. So, but I mean, you can believe if there's Illuminati if you want to. You could believe there's aliens if you want to. That's what's great about free will. I like to believe what is right in front of me or the things I feel and I can see. That's why I believe in a higher power because I could feel it. If I couldn't feel it, I would not believe in the higher power. But I'm one of these people that cannot believe in anything in blind faith. This is why I'm not a good Catholic. I'm not a very good Catholic at all. This is why priests have disliked me. And I'm okay with it. I just believe in things that I can see. And sometimes I feel that people take advantage of people, especially when they can, and they try to add stuff. And I believe that religion and all that is a self journey and it's personal. And I believe everyone has a different outlook on it and they see different stuff. I see one part of enlightenment and someone else will see a total other part of enlightenment. And I believe that's the way it's supposed to be. I don't believe that one person is supposed to see the same as another and another. We're all made different. We're not carbon copies of each other. We all have our different personalities and our different missions in life. And I full-heartedly believe that. I even believe animals have a special mission in life. And sometimes, they get abused and things happen and they die and they come back. And I would hope that death would take away their pain. And I believe it does. And I know, and it's great. And I'm grateful that death makes you forget before you come back. Because I believe in some lifetimes we probably went through some shit. So, and I'm glad I don't remember previous lifetimes because I don't know if I want to remember heartache from another lifetime. One lifetime's enough for me. You got. Oh, you're vegan? Yeah, I was vegetarian for a long time. Then the doctor told me that I had to start eating meat once in a while because I was really, really anemic. And that's probably one of the reasons I get really sick. I am a severe anemic, so I don't have enough iron in my blood and all kinds of stuff. So what bothers me is the way they kill the pigs. I don't like this corporate farming, or they call it industrial farming. I don't I don't like the fact they have so many animals have to die for us to begin with, but I don't like the fact that they're stuck in a cage as they're giving birth and they got to feed the little baby pigs through a cage. And then they take those baby pigs away from their mother. They're not even allowed to snuggle with their own mother. They get no enjoyment out of their life, the pigs, with the corporate farming. And hopefully, when the country gets where it needs to be, this issue of corporate farming gets resolved, because not enough people are talking about the elephant in the room. The animals that are put up in cages and literally suffering. They don't get to have a nice farm life, and they just treat them. They treat them like crap. An actual farmer that had their own farm treats their animals way better than these industrial farmers. And I get meat eaters are always going to be here. I get it. But can we have a little compassion for these animals that are dying for us? So I totally get it. I how do you know that there's no one else in this chat? I don't know, but this is interesting. That's why I say this is like the ocean over here. Alright. Alright, what is this? Rodeos, or what the heck is this? Robots. I mean, oh my god. What are you trying to be, like Jason? Or Freddy in one of those horror movies? Seriously? You can see. What is a PPL court? I don't understand what that's supposed to mean. This is very interesting. You either just like me a lot or you're a troll. I can't figure it out. It's one or the other. Oh, I didn't understand. Okay. What is PPL? I don't understand what PPL is. I'm what? Are you talking about sex? Because that is funny. Oh, mean people. Okay. I mean, I get there's mean people, but I guess maybe putting a cap on some of it. There has to be some violence. You gotta have, I guess, you gotta have some of them that are protecting the innocent, and then has to be in society. You have to have that. So, I mean, you're not gonna have a perfect world. The universe has balance. Wherever there's a lot of good, there's gonna come a lot of bad. You gotta compromise with the bad to try to bring the good sometimes. So, I mean, there's always dreams of a utopia, I guess. But will the utopia ever happen? Probably not. So sometimes that it is what it is in that matter. Because my dad was in the armed forces, and he was sometimes a mean person and not nice, but he always protected the innocent. I believe we all have our own mission. Sometimes the people that are bad end up doing something that turns good. It's the way of the world. I just try to go with the punches in the world around us, I guess. That's why I do my little reels, because you get money for it. If you can do some dope reels on Instagram, it gets shared right over to Facebook because they co-op with each other and you can make some money. And it's fun. It absolutely is fun. I mean, you should try it. You got to get people's attention. Obviously, Instagram and Facebook's all about animals and humanity, but they got some groups over there. They got the Satanist over there. So, and some, I get interested in a lot of different subjects. So sometimes I follow some of them and look to see what they're posting. They got interesting posts. I don't know if I agree with all their posts. Like, they got actual prayers and stuff. And it doesn't seem like these Satanistic prayers are bad. They're more egotistical. It's more like they worry about yourself and not others. I feel that's the goal of Satanism. I could be wrong because I'm not in that kind of group, but I like to see what other people in the world are doing. So I do. Okay. Yeah, well, you gotta deal with. I mean, in this world, you gotta be able to deal with all different types. I deal with. I feel, when I do my reels, I deal with a lot of people. I'm sure that everybody in the Satan group, which is the Lucifer group, which I thought, being a tarot reader, that they would like me because I'm Catholic too. And a lot of their prayers are close to Catholic, and I do tarot reading, and I try to join their group. I got kicked out because I pointed out to the Satan group that Lucifer was an archangel. And they didn't like that I pointed that out. So I got kicked out because it's Lucifer Morningstar. He was God's first angel. I mean, oh, hello. Is that Rube? Or is that someone else? I haven't seen my friend Ruben forever. Oh, you've been on here before. I think, haven't you, Pinky? I swear you had been here before. Or somebody that had a name similar. I don't know. But yeah, that's fun facts about me. I tried to join the Lucifer group because I was very interested in the stuff they do. I'm the person that would like to go to Vatican City and go into their library where they have like really cool books that are thousands of years old. No, this is my. Oh, okay. It's your first time. Okay. I know I still have people, but yeah, I did try joining the Lucifer group, and they seem pretty cool. But if you tell them that Lucifer was an archangel, you're getting kicked out. So they kicked me out. They never asked for me to come back, and I'm not allowed. I figured a tarot reading could go, a tarot reader could go in Lucifer group, but apparently we're not allowed. Yeah, you can get a reading. I'm just over here chatting and stuff. I mean, I don't mind. I like to do that for fun. I like to do my reels for fun. I like to do readings for fun. Funny. Well, yeah, I do funny stuff. I really do. I like to. And people think I'm crazy. They're like, my friends from work was like, "Why are you trying to join Lucifer group?" I go, "Because they seem interesting, and I want to study them. I wanted to study this Lucifer group because honestly, I don't think Lucifer is a bad person. I never thought he was a bad archangel." And I don't know if he's truly bad because he always was the morning star. So, but I guess apparently the Lucifer group, they believe he's a demon, and he wasn't. It's all through the Bible that his number one archangel was always Lucifer. And I just point out one fact to them, and they kicked me out. I was done, and they blocked me. I think too. Every once in a great while, I'll get one of their little prayers, and that's it. So, all right, let me see my friend Pinky's question. You want to know if secret feelings for me and it is coming back to me. All right, is this like a boyfriend girlfriend crush thing? I don't know. That's the energy I'm picking up. Like it's like a boyfriend girlfriend thing. Like it's one of that energies. Like you went to do the dirty thing with him. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm not right about everything. I'm not the higher power. Oh, okay. So it is a romantic feel. I did get that right. I'm going to turn off this because I'm going to glare on this light. Okay. Jeez, wait. I got too much going on with crazy lighting these days. All right. This is better. I can see this better without the damn glare. Okay. He is your partner. Yes, we were together. Okay, yeah. I was picking up romantic vibes. All right. And you kind of want to know if you're getting back together, then I'm taking it. I mean, that's what I'm personally picking up. I'm all right. And I didn't believe in accept that. Alright, well, he broke up with you, okay. Well, what were the conditions on this breakup? I mean, were you guys fighting? Like, was it like a divorce or something? Where, I don't know, where you were fighting and there was another person? I mean, sometimes after 15 years, this happens. I mean, I got divorced after 12 years of marriage, so. And sometimes when things just go sour, sometimes one partner doesn't want to go back with another. Okay. No, it's just normal. Okay, well, that's good. Oh my God. All right, I'm sorry. One of these days I'll have enough money to get a better setup around here. I don't have the best setup. And my son has not brought the computer, my MacBook, which he was supposed to and never did. So hopefully this happens soon, and then I can have a better camera on the MacBook and probably set up things for YouTube. Oh, I don't know. I don't think you love me. But let me do your pathway on your relationship here. All right. You're in a dissembling moon, and I guess that makes a lot of sense. A dissembling moon is when you need, it's like a part, it's like a period where you just need to relax and figure things like long-term goals out and relax. Like, especially like you get dissembling moon when you've been through a really hard time. I was in one of those for about 6 months before, and then I went into another path. So, I mean, these things happen. You're surrounded by the full moon eclipse and the full moon in Aries. This is very interesting. All right, the full moon eclipse is all about answers coming to a halt. Questions that had no answers. It pretty much is a full moon eclipse. And you have a full moon in Aries, which just, it's high energy, generally hostility, because the Aries people run very hot and cold. That's the way Aries is. So I feel with you and your partner, there's going to be a really, really bad fight soon. And you're going to figure out, and the answers are going to come to you within this fight. And it's going to sway your feelings one way or the other. And I feel you're in dissembling moon because you're meant to try to recollect and get yourself together before this big fight arises. So, alright, he's in Aries. Well, see, I'm in Aries too. When Aries fight, it's always really bad. It's the fire sign. So, I feel a big fight, and I feel it's coming within a month or so. But the fight is going to come to some kind of closure. And there's going to be a decision. I mean, I don't see what he's hiding, but he is hiding something of the reason he left. I don't believe he has anybody. I think it was just something he wasn't happy about and didn't tell you. And he's just, I don't know, he's just angry and decided to separate himself. That's what I'm feeling. And I believe he's going to want to reconcile, but he's going to say it in the most awful way. So, and you will get conclusions to that, but I guess maybe while you're in this resting period, maybe try to just find yourself a little bit. I did when my kids started messing with me and doing crazy things and getting insane wives. And I ended up in the middle of a bunch of crazy stuff. So, and I had to do the same thing, and there was a lot of hostility. And I've redefined myself. And I mean, I did it through social media, but you could do it through other ways. maybe just try to just do something to keep your mind off things, and there is going to be a really bad climax to this. And because Aries doesn't back down. I don't ever back down. So, and it's a character of Aries. We never back down. Some of the greatest warriors of all history were Aries. Usually an Aries will give you, I don't know, Aries gives one way or another. So, and it's a very final thing. So, I say prepare for about a month or so. Oh yeah, there's gonna be a real bad fight. Real bad fight. It's gonna be the kind of fight that makes you want to just stab him or something. So I would just calm down, try to get myself together because it's gonna be bad. You're going to prepare for that. And Aries, an angry Aries, is not a good thing, especially when they're thinking all kinds of crazy shit. You don't want that. That's just bad karma right there. All right, what are his feelings towards you? And uh, we could do another pathway about his feelings towards you, because you can be in like 4 or 5 different paths at once. I believe in quantum physics. I'm probably the only tarot reader that really believes science and this go hand in hand. I believe we're in many paths at one time, so we'll see what path he is with you in particular. All right, he's in a new moon in Leo, which means he's being egotistical because a Leo is very confident and some in there all about sometimes just being that big provider. That's the path he is with you. So he's in that new moon in Leo. But what's surrounding him is the blue moon and the new moon in Aquarius. When you're in that new moon in Leo, it makes you very. It's like a stubborn type thing situation where it's like your way or no way. But the blue moon's there, trying to make him believe that the impossible can happen and things that he doesn't believe could happen can happen, and there's some out of his scope, there's other things. So that's where that's surrounding him. And that new moon Aquarius, of course, we all know Aquarius about love. He got the new moon Aquarius because he needs to find his inner love. And the reason for it all. So I believe it's just something that he's thinking. That's what I'm picking up. I believe he loves you. I'm picking up feelings of love, but it's going to come out in more anger. So, but there is love there. So, I do feel that. So, may I just say that I'm not saying that he's going to like do crazy things. He's just going to yell at you and he's going to be very emotional. And he's going to raise his voice, but it's not going to be physical. So you don't have to worry about that. But that's all I'm picking up as an emotional fight where his voice might get raised. And I believe he is going to try to make it work, but he's going to test your reaction. Because this is what men do. They test your reaction to things. And I mean, you guys been together 15 years. There's a lot of stuff there. That's a lot of investment in time. So, all right. But, well, I believe these, I mean, this is crazy coming from a tarot reading, but these astrological signs do not define us. If two people want to make it work, it doesn't matter what sign you are, you can make it work. It depends on how much commitment that person wants to do at the time. That's all it is. I mean, it's a fun concept, saying you were born in the Star of Aries or this or that, but in the main scheme of things, it really doesn't amount to anything. So, we're all people. It's fun. I identify myself as Michelle, not an Aries and this and that. I am what I am. I'm not always hot headed, but I've met people from different signs that are supposed to be hot headed that aren't. I feel it's paths that you go through that make, and everybody's supposed to learn humility and how to control their feelings. I believe that wholeheartedly. So, and decide and love the net. Like, okay, hang on. I believe if two people really love each other and they've been together a long time, generally it's because you've been together in other lifetimes. I believe this is what happens. We have our circle of people that we get romantically involved with in different lifetimes, and then sometimes we don't, but there's a circle. And it doesn't matter what sign you are. These people, when they're meant to be with you, sometimes, people argue. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect. I believe the higher power up there is perfect, which I believe is in the Milky Way. And then I've been told that God is everywhere. But I believe the main source of God is the Milky Way, but I've been told he's the whole entire universe. So, I guess it's who you want to believe. My back itches. All right. But I believe the higher power has a plan for all of us out there in the universe. And if he really wants to be with you and you guys can work things out, it would be for the best. Because to start over from a 15-year relationship is horrifying and hard. And it's hard for both parties, just not one. And that's the absolute truth. Because when I got my divorce, it was hard, and it was hard for both of us. And then if there's children involved, we had two kids involved, so it's I don't know, it's a lifetime commitment. It seems anything after 12 years, it's like it leaves an imprint on your soul. So I believe that, I think that it'll be okay, and he's gonna overreact and things, and then maybe he'll come back. But I think he's gonna overreact. All right, hang on. Well, I mean, he was an alcoholic and he didn't want to work it out. So, things sometimes fall apart. He's happier, we're happier apart from each other. And I found someone else. So, I mean, sometimes I feel things go bad and you get another person in your path. I mean, he was a really bad alcoholic. He wasn't, in the end, he wasn't good for the kids. Now he's good for the kids, now that they're older. But I'm not bitter. So I think he's bitter, but I'm not bitter. But sometimes happens, but I feel it's a different story. Oh, yeah, we tried. We went to therapy. He was an alcoholic and wouldn't stop drinking. The kids were not happy with him around. He would scream. He was a mean drunk. It wasn't fun. I told him that he's one of the people that should probably smoke weed and not drink. I told him this, so he did not like that, and he had a drink every single day, and it made him angry. And I'm fully about if you're doing something that's making you act a certain way, that's a negative way, you should not be doing it. Certain people should not drink alcohol. I can drink alcohol and be fine and stop at a certain point, but sometimes if you're a mean drunk, it's not a good thing. It really isn't. That's how people get shot in bars and everything else. And he was one of these people. When he would get drunk, he would be an idiot. To the point where people wanted to hurt him or he wanted to hurt them. And he ended up, the courts ended up breaking us up and got involved. He ended up getting some felonies and all kinds of stuff. And through all this, I made peace with the situation. He's still seeing the kids and he changed enough to be a good person for the kids, but I believe he learned his lesson in this lifetime. But after all that, sometimes it's hard to accept things. And it's hard to be where you were before after all that happens. And you can't ask someone 2 years later to get back with you after all of that sometimes. So, but at least he still has his kids, and I never said anything bad to the kids about him. I mean, that's just how I am. He said plenty of things bad about me in front of the kids, but I didn't want to give into that energy, so. He told the kids I was a whore and everything else. And he literally convinced my younger son that he was going to take and literally my younger son at that time, he was 10 and he could decide who he wanted to live with. He decided to live with his dad, and he did not bring him over for my birthday. He did not bring him over for holidays, and he made my younger son hate me. So these are things that hateful people do, and it was a really hard thing to. So I feel that when it's in that kind of situation, if you're able to forgive that person at some level, I think that it has to be enough in life. And living through things like that, sometimes I just feel that you can live through anything if you can live through that. So I try to help people as much as I can. But I have a strong connection with animals. I really do. For some reason, I feel very connected with all kinds of animals. It's insane about the connection with animals. Oh, what is it? I'm sorry. Let's see. Oh, my kids are older. They've been through all that. Where this has been done and said. But it's their decision. If they believe their dad about all the hostility they said about me. I mean, I've talked to my younger son, and he's sometimes back and forth about it, but he makes his own choices. And sometimes, I mean, he's older, he's 20 now, and my other one's 30. I mean, they got their own lives. But sometimes you gotta move on. I figure I'm gonna live probably in another 50 years. I gotta do something till I die, so I decided to try out editing and live streaming, and sometimes there has to be a time that you got to find your own true path that has nothing to do with no one else until you're happy. And if you're happy with yourself, you can be happy with someone else, because it takes a lot to get over, I guess, a relationship that was a long time. So it is what it is, and people have went through worse, so I don't like literally say I've been through the worst, because I haven't. There's some people out there that's been trafficked with the human trafficking and been abused and victimized, and there's a lot of people have been through way worse than me. So I try to think of that, because I feel that we should keep in mind there's people that have been through a lot worse situations than us. And they probably feel that they don't have a tomorrow. I mean, these people, they're picking up little kids all the time, they're picking up adults, they're picking up all these people, and then sometimes, they're getting them on these different drugs. Sometimes they're coming willingly, and it's just all a bad circle. It really is. But I mean, karma's been taking care of me. I went through a bad time, but now I'm going through decent times. So, do I ever feel lonely? No. I mean, I'm remarried now. I literally just started writing. When I'm lonely, I write. Or I try to think of some reels. That's why I wrote my book, and I'm waiting on my older son to drop this computer off so I can figure out what I'm doing with Amazon with it. But I write. I feel it's better to get your feelings out one way or another. I feel that's why people do diaries like they used to. To me, doing reels and live streaming and doing things like this kind of helps my get things out and helps me bring clarity to the world. If that makes any sense. Oh, it's Lily in the Darkness. Everybody said that I kind of wrote it about my life, which I didn't think I did, but it's like a fantasy book. But it's about women. It starts out where it's like a hybrid where there's vampires and wolves. I know dragons are really hot now, all these dragon books, but I like vampires and wolves too. So I made my one character a vampire princess, and then a wolf king. And then it starts in the chapters where her husband died and it was a political marriage, and she was able to get pregnant and then had hybrids. I try to make it really interesting, and and a little different because I'm a really big fan of George Romero and these different horror writers. But I try to do not a really horrible horror book, just it's horror if there's any kind of character in it that could be supernatural and they call it horror. Just like some of these TV shows you watch that aren't really that bad, but there's some violence, they call it horror. So it's a sci-fi horror, but it's a light horror. I don't get too detailed and I don't talk about how they feed and everything because I wanted it to be more dialogue and where you get to know the characters better. So, and I know that my son, I don't know, I know he's been busy with all of his jobs, my older son. But he has this Mac computer he don't even use and then has this other computer in his office, so hopefully either I find a good deal on a laptop because my other one took a crap, or he just gets my taxes done and I'll just go pick one up. Because I only need it for limited use. I don't need it. I don't need an Alienware and all kinds of alien technology. Yeah, it took me 5 years to write. I wrote it through my divorce and stuff. And I got my feelings out, and I think the book helped me. Angel, stop. Angel. But yeah, I wrote that. It's like one of the first books I wrote, and I had to rewrite it a couple times. So, Chong. Just leave her alone. But I mean, it did take me a while. I rewrote it, and the first time was terrible. But they say you got to rewrite a book a couple times sometimes, and then that's why I read all these other books. The Game of Thrones is really good to read if you're writing a book about dialogue. I feel they presented all the different places in the book together well. And I feel that all the different lands and all the different kingdoms, how they brought it all together was, I feel George Martin did a really good job with it. So, I do. I have a cat too. I'm an animal person. I like to rescue them all. I mean, my cat and my dog get along very well. So, oh, you liked my video? Oh, was that the new ones I had with all the dogs that are eating dinner and stuff? I try to do humorous. I think one of my favorite ones was I put well, I have the 3 dogs and it looked like male dogs and who's grilling the steaks, and then all these dogs are looking at each other. I thought that would be something that men would do, and I thought it was so funny. So I put it down for Chong humorous. Because Elon Musk, with all his AI technology, I got an app and then it comes up with a really clear picture, and these pictures you never thought you get on this app. So I was like, why not have fun with it? And then I have them with the dogs in the car. I thought it was funny where the dogs are driving. I don't have access, and I'm not a good dog trainer to do any of that. That was all an app. And so I love dogs. Oh, okay. I honestly, I like dogs. My parents had them, but my ex-husband hated dogs because he said they chased him and tried to bite him as a kid. So we always had cats. when I got older and then got remarried, then I was allowed to. And the new husband likes dogs, so I was able to get a dog. Which I'm glad because Chong is. I like Chong a lot. I love him. I think he's the perfect dog for me. Even though he's a little big, I feel he's the perfect dog for me. I feel like he's one of those spirit animals they talk about. A lot of people talk about spirit animals all the time, and the way he came out of nowhere and how, I don't know, he was able to help me find myself. And then I ended up just redoing this YouTube channel. I didn't even know it existed, and I didn't know how to get to it. My nephew just found it and goes, "Oh, you have one." I'm like, "Oh." So I named it after my dog. I'm just that basic, so. And then of course over here we got Tommy Chong, which that's where my dog was named after, was Tommy Chong. And I had to put Chong the dog because every time you tried it, I just wanted to put Chong, but then Tommy Chong came up, so that's why I had to put the dog. Which I think is hilarious. It would be awesome one day if I got popular enough where Tommy Chong actually, I don't know that if I was ever popular enough, met Chong and did a video with Chong, since he was named after him. That would be awesome. It may never happen, but I'm just saying it would be cool. I think it would be, to me, that would be cool. I mean, who would not want to have their dog that was named after somebody with a picture of him? Even if I get a picture with Tommy Chong and my Chong, that would be great. Because I like Tommy Chong as an actor. I mean, who doesn't? They're like the original hippies. And they've been trying to get weed promoted for years through their movies and everything. So I have a lot of respect for them. In a climate where, because when I grew up, it was so illegal, people were going to prison and everything over it. And they were always trying to get it legalized. And yeah, they're in their 70s and stuff, but I feel they did their mission in life, so. And they're great people. And maybe one day me and Chong will be popular enough and Chong will be not jumping and more well behaved, where he'll meet Tommy Chong and not jump all over him. Maybe when he's 3. I heard when they're 3 years old, they get better. And he's high energy. That's why I hired this 10-year-old and 14-year-old to walk Chong, because they have a lot of energy. And sometimes I'm coming off work and I'm exhausted. And they really tired him out. So hopefully at that time he has energy, but he's not gonna, like, I don't know, you know what I mean, jump around too much, and he knows when to behave. Hopefully he's a little more chilled out. But I heard it's like 3 to 5 they get really good. And he's still in that kind of puppy stage now, so. But I've been in here almost 2 hours, so I'm gonna, now that I'm feeling better, I actually have tomorrow off too. I'm probably just gonna, like, I know I usually don't do this on Wednesday because my husband's home, but I'm just gonna do this in the living room tomorrow. So I'll do a live stream tomorrow because I've been feeling bad because I've been doing all this editing and it's been days since I did any live streams. So But I'll probably go ahead and live stream from the living room tomorrow. But I'm going to go ahead and we're going to order dinner and stuff. So, and I thank you guys for listening. And I get, and if you're subscribed, thank you. And I am going to make more of an effort now to come over here. I always try to. I really do. It's just I get so busy because I'm on every social network. So, oh, well, thank you. And thank you for any subscriptions that I got today, if I got any today. So I could talk to you again. And I'll be on tomorrow now that I got another spot that's not so horrible in the house that I'm not going to get flagged and shut down because he's in there watching YouTube now and it wouldn't be good because a stream within a stream is not allowed here. So, and I'll talk to you guys and thank you so much for the great conversation. So, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.